Hey,
We'll get started. First question, Kelly Eco.
Hey, Coach, you spoke about the need to see more of the random offense. How did you see that tonight, specifically with John Wall attacking the mismatches and just getting downhill?
uh, it was pretty good. We weren't I would say we were random, but not necessarily organized. And there's two very different things. So we were random, and we got to a couple post ups here and there, and we got to some pick and rolls out of just action. But we weren't great. We weren't spaced awesome, and we weren't as good as I wanted us to be. It's funny. You have that first game, and you're feeling good about kind of where you're at, and reality hits you that we haven't been together for very long, and it's going to take us a minute to kind of get to exactly what we want as far as playing random, and then our set plays as well.
Jonathan Fagan.
How did you feel the defense came around after halftime?
Thought it was better. We made a few adjustments at halftime, and we were a little bit better. But what killed us was the offensive rebounds. I mean, we had multiple possessions where guys were kind of just standing around, and they were crashing the glass. I believe they had 26 second chance points, and that's where the game was lost. I mean, to give up 104 points, 104 points in a game, that's a game that we should win. But when your offense isn't, you're not making the threes, the offense isn't as good as you want it to be, and then they're offensive rebounding like crazy and getting second opportunities, that's a recipe for a loss.
Adam Spolin.
Do you feel like you are better prepared for the start of the season right now than when you got to Chicago?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, that's the point of being here. That's the point of the preseason games. We are better prepared for the regular season. And, you have to go through a little adversity in order to get better. And we did that tonight. We had some situations that we didn't necessarily like. And the players were talking about it and figuring it out. And we know that we need to be better.
Mark Berman.
Stephen, what have you thought so far of the synergy and chemistry that you and your staff's developing?
I like my staff a lot. We're very diverse. We have a bunch of experience. They are very helpful. They're conscientious. They talk to the players. They're great for me. So a road trip has a way of bringing a staff together. And this was a good start for our staff, but I love my guys.
Christos Saltis.
Hello, Coach. I would like to ask you what your opinion about the creativity of your team tonight, because you had 15 assists, 18 turnovers, and also do you feel that your team is on the right direction, on the right way?
Yeah, I think we had some good shots early, especially early in the game. Some good shots that were created that we just didn't make. And when you start missing open threes and when you start having some failures offensively, then you start to press a little bit. And I thought we did start to press just a little bit. Started to turn the ball over too much, and it kind of snowballed from there. So the shot quality initially I thought was pretty good, and as the game went, I thought our shot quality went down, and it's partly because they did a pretty good job defensively, and partly because we weren't necessarily looking to stay spaced, drive the ball, kick the ball, all the things that I've been talking about.
Thank you.
Simon Ali.
Hey, Coach. During training camp, you spoke about DeMarcus Cousins' ability to space the floor. He's now taken 8 3-pointers, and he's hitting them at a pretty high clip. Is this kind of what you envisioned for him in your offense?
Yeah. I mean, him trailing, and part of it is if we could push the ball down the floor and flatten out the defense, him trailing in gives him the opportunity to shoot those threes or stretch his defender out so he can have driving lanes. I didn't really know that he could shoot the ball as well as he does just prior to having him on the team, but he can really, really shoot. So we're going to have some fun using him in different ways where he can either pick and pop or trail and play.
Ben DeBose.
Coach, a couple of things. First, Eric not starting the second half, was that by design or did anything happen? And second, David Nwaba off the bench, what did you see from him tonight?
Yeah, Eric was just a little tight, so we didn't want to push it, and he didn't play the second half. Nothing to worry about. I talked to him, and he was good going back, but we just decided it doesn't make sense for him to go back in. So David Nwaba was really good. I mean, defensively, he was everywhere. He was on every coverage. He made the hustle plays, got on the floor, and then offensively, he was a downhill player. He played in the paint, which is what we need when we have shooting on the floor, having someone that can attack closeouts, drive the ball in isolations, and really like turn the corner off handoffs or whatever. His three ball didn't go in tonight, and he's a better 3-point shooter than he showed tonight. So he's a little frustrated about that, but I'm not frustrated because he got good looks and he played really hard.
Mark Berman.
Stephen, I know it's a small sample. What have you thought to date so far of KJ Martin?
KJ, he's athletic. He's young. He's got a little ways to go, but he's a good learner, and he has athletic gifts that most guys don't have. It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity and understanding that he's 19 and this is a completely different game than he played prior to coming here. So every day for him is a learning experience, and I'm excited about him for sure. But it's just a learning experience for him, and he came in and struggled initially, but then he kind of got going a little bit and did a few things and got a rebound and finished in 3-point play and had an open three that I trust that he can make. So this experience for him was really good, and he's got to just draw from this experience, and as the season comes, his minutes probably won't be what he might not be in the rotation, so he's got to really understand that and work so he can crack the rotation.
Eugene McIntosh. Eugene, you're muted.
There we go. Hey, how you doing, Coach?
All right.
Two things for you. Your dad, he was a guy who was fairly honest and, just fairly honest with his criticism of his players, when he was coaching. I'm interested to know what type of advice he's giving you, and also what type of approach do you take as a first-year head coach with, 20 years of experience as an assistant?
Fairly honest is being kind. he was extremely honest with his players, which is why he had success as a head coach. So one thing about NBA players, and he taught me this, is they are so very smart, and they know if you are coming at them in a way that you're trying to help them or if you're coming at them sideways. And he always would be direct with players and be honest with them. And for me, as a first-time head coach, that's something I'm developing. I've always been very honest with players, and I have a different style than my dad because we're different people. But I think the basic part of it is the respect factor that I have for them and they have for me, and then being just honest with them so they can process it and figure out how to go forward from it. But the honesty part is number one, because if you're not, then it's hard to build solid relationships where there's trust and you can really, really have success going forward.
We'll take two more. Adam Wexler.
Hey, Coach, this is your first go around with 2 games in 3 nights in one city against the same team. How do you think you guys handle it? And even in light of the COVID protocols, how does a team go through that, staying in one place for that period of time?
Yeah, it's hard. It's easy in that we're in the same city, right? But it's hard because we have to wake up early and get the testing, and then we're not allowed to be near each other until a certain time. And shoot-arounds really aren't an option because of the timing of the testing. So we have to do ballroom film sessions and walkthroughs, which aren't nearly as productive as a shoot-around or going on the court. So there's that part of it, like the preparation part of it, but then playing the same team twice in a row, as I kind of said at the beginning or before the game, it creates like almost like a playoff type deal where they made adjustments to what we did to them last time as far as the 3-point shots, and we had to counter those or make adjustments, and we just didn't make enough shots tonight partly because of the adjustment that they made from game to game. So it's an interesting dynamic how we're kind of doing this, and the COVID part of it is something that is just kind of another layer on top of everything else that's going on. But the one thing that I told the guys, amongst a lot of things, but we really just have to be adaptable and have a positive attitude, because it'd be easy to have a negative attitude with all of the things that we're having to do, but it's not going to do anybody any good to be negative about it. So we're just going to be adaptable and make it work.
And last one, Christos.
Yes. Coach, what was the biggest lesson of that 2 games for you? And also, how satisfied you are about the approach of your players?
I'm satisfied with the approach. I thought tonight our spirit waned. It went up and down a little bit. So that's something that we'll have to learn from. But like I said, and I keep saying, this is an experience from the start of training camp to the first game. So as far as how I feel about where we're going, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. We have things to learn. We have things to add. We have things to change. But everybody seems pretty receptive to it. And we're understanding that this is preseason game number 2 a few weeks before Christmas, so it's just very different, and it's very, we just have to be, as I said before, adaptable to the situation, and we'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.